Welcome. Namaste. Thank you for joining me here on Studio B for an hour of balancing yin and yang. And today we'll use the wall for some support and also to do some experiments, some postures that actually may be easier when you're using a wall than when you don't. Just as a metaphor for learning to accept support in your life from others or from some tools, whatever it may be. I think sometimes there's this mentality that we all need to figure it out on our own and that we shouldn't bother other people and that we need to be able to, meditate on our own in silence. But sometimes it's just really nice to use a guided meditation or to ask for help from another person. So the wall is your friend for this class. And we'll start with the wall, actually, lying down with your legs up the wall. Usually done at the end of practice, but it's nice to change things up. So you can either turn your mat to the wall or maybe just put out a blanket, whatever works. And then make sure that you're going to get your buttocks against the wall. So it's easiest to do that while you're lying on your side with your knees bent, and then you can roll onto your back and your legs come up. And then with your buttocks against the wall, there is a nice support for the hamstrings. So you're not too far away from the wall with the legs at an angle, at the diagonal, which puts more strain on the hamstrings. So see if you can get situated that way. So I'll just give you a moment to get organized. And then once you're there, you can allow your hands to rest on your belly, or your arms can be extended away from the body with the palms facing up, whatever feels appropriate, whatever feels comfortable. And then take a nice deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. Just settling into this shape, very supportive pose. Spine resting on the floor. And the legs supported against the wall. And letting gravity receive the weight of your body. And allow yourself to be received by gravity. Allow yourself to be held by the support of the ground and the wall. Allowing breath to settle. Let's see if you can find this gentle movement in the lower belly as you breathe. Sending the breath downward. As you slow down your breath, and the vagus nerve is stimulated, the biggest nerve in the body. And when the vagus nerve is stimulated, our sympathetic nervous system calms down and the parasympathetic nervous system is more active. So we come in this state of rest. So with these nice slow breaths, see if you can really allow the pelvis to be heavy and the whole abdominal region to be soft. Just really letting yourself sink. The shoulder blades heavy, the back of your head, relaxing your shoulders. And taking a moment to reflect on where you could ask for more support in your life, whether it is from other people or from some tools that you have available. Which area of your life is one in which you think that you should take care of it yourself, where you feel like you shouldn't be bothering others? But when you think about yourself as you would about your best friend, what would you do for your best friend to support them? And you deserve the same. And take 3 nice deep conscious breaths here, in and out through the nose, allowing the belly to expand on the inhale. And release on the exhale. And when you're complete, bring your hands to rest on your heart center. And you could repeat inside your mind or even say out loud, I deserve to receive support when I need it. I deserve to receive support when I need it. As we allow ourselves to be supported, we can then show up in a better way for others. So we're not only benefiting ourselves, but if we are better people, then we can invite those around us to do the same. And take a nice deep breath and let it go with a sigh. And then as you release your hands, you can bend your knees, sliding your feet down the wall. And maybe circle your ankles a few times there. And then roll to your side. And we'll do one more shape on your back, but you'll have to move away from the wall a little bit so that you're about lower leg distance apart from the wall. So your lower leg your foot is going to be against the wall. Your knee is going to be bent about 90 degrees and your hips will be right under your knees. So see if you can find the right distance. You may have to wiggle back and forth a few times. So once you're there, and then again you may have to remove yourself again, place your right ankle on your left knee. So you're in a supported figure four. And if you're here and you don't feel anything at all, no stretch around the outer right hip, then you could move a little bit closer to the wall. So adjust appropriately so that you feel some sensation around the right outer hip. It doesn't have to be super intense. And then you just let the right foot rest there, and it may be helpful to support the right leg with your right hand. So you can have the right elbow on the floor and your hand resting against the right thigh. And if that doesn't work, you can just let the leg be. And so that you can really relax that right leg, allowing the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments release around the right hip, the glutes. Make sure that you find a sense of ease in the left foot, so you're not actively pressing your left foot into the wall. It should just be able to rest there. And then again, just noticing your breath as it flows in and out, and really sending it down into the belly. So also our breath can be of so much support for our well-being when we pay attention to it. So rather than taking the breath for granted, we can invite the breath to help soothe the nervous system, to slow down our heart rate, to just make us feel a little more at ease. And if we don't pay attention, the breath may rise up into the chest, and when we're breathing in the chest, it could affect all the muscles in the upper back, the neck muscles around the shoulders, creating a lot of tightness that can easily be avoid it by just breathing deeply into the belly, supporting your body. So take 2 more nice deep breaths here. And then slowly place your right foot against the wall. If you need to straighten that leg for a moment, you can do that. And then when you're ready, place your right foot against the wall and your left ankle on your right knee. And this hip may be different, so you may have to move a little closer to the wall to make a little less, or to increase the stretch, or to move a little away from the wall to lessen it. So adjust whatever feels appropriate for your body, and then you could support the left leg with your left hand, with the elbow on the floor, hand against the thigh, so the leg can relax. Let's see if you can even relax the left foot. Toes. You can also use the breath as support for the mind. Especially when your mind is very busy, slowing down the breath will help, but also to just focus on the breath to draw your attention away from the thinking and to help you focus and stay present. So there are all these different ways in which we can draw support from the breath. So as you just take a few more deep breaths here, see if you can send your breath into any area of your body that needs a little support in relaxing a little more. And then slowly release your left foot, place it against a wall. You could just momentarily extend both legs, resting the heels against the wall. And then draw your knees into your chest, carefully roll to your sides. And then come onto your hands and knees. And you may like to fold a blanket under your knees. And you can bring your hands a little away from the shoulders, a little further forward, so there's more space. And just beginning with simple movements of the pelvis, the shoulders, and your neck can join. Just slow circular motions. And after being still for a while, inviting the blood to flow, the chi to redistribute itself. Your movements can be small or big. You could pause at any spot where you feel you need a little more support. And then at some point reverse the direction. And making your movements a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller until you come all the way back to center. And once you come back to stillness, bring your hands under your shoulders. Curl the toes under so you get a gentle stretch for the soles of your feet. As you inhale, arch your back, lifting sits bones, reaching up through the heart, and as you exhale, round your spine, tailbone reaching down, crown of your head reaching down. Inhale to arch, and exhale to round. And just a few more like this, really simple. Moving the spine, one vertebra at a time. And let's do one more. And exhale when you round. Inhale, come back to neutral and untuck your toes. And then take your blocks and put them at the front of your mat so you have them available for support whenever you may need them. Curl your toes and on your exhale, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. And once you're upside down here, take a moment to move in whichever way feels good. You could simply straighten one leg as the opposite knee bends, or move the hips, whatever feels good. And if downward dog is not feeling right for you today, you could just be in a standing forward fold with your knees slightly bent, just so that you're upside down anyway. So getting blood into the organs, into the brain, in a slightly different way. And then as you pause and come to stillness, walk your feet forward towards your hands into a forward fold, feet hip distance. Let your head hang. Knees can be bent as much as needed, and it may be nice here to actually put your hands on your blocks, where you can touch the floor or not. And just again, as this metaphor of support. You place one block in front of you. So it's right in front of your feet. Both hands on the block. As you inhale, elongate the spine. So you're making it parallel to the floor. On your exhale, twist to your right. As you bend the left knee, the right arm reaches out and up. Inhale, coming back to center. And exhale, twist left. Right knee bends, spine is long, left arm reaches out and up. And you continue like this. Inhale to center, both hands on the block. And then exhale, the right arm reaches out and up, left knee bends. Inhaling into center and exhaling, twisting. And so keep your spine nice and extended. So long spine, especially when you twist. Gently pulling the belly button to your spine when you twist. Reaching your sits bones back. And one more to each side. And when you inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, fold forward, release your head. Keep your hands on the block. You can keep your knees slightly bent. And then take the block and place it between your upper thighs. So make sure that the block is not touching your knees. And gently squeeze the block. So it may not feel like it right now, but this block is actually going to give you a lot of support in the movements that we're going to make next. So even here, when you're upside down, when you gently squeeze the block, you're engaging the adductor muscles, which informs the core to turn on and find a lift in the pelvic floor, which facilitates the forward fold. Now keep squeezing the block as you bend your knees, weight in your heels. Inhale to come up to chair pose. Arms can be parallel to the floor or can come up if that works. So keep your weight in your heels so you could lift your toes off the floor. And as you inhale, straighten up. And exhale, release your hands, bring them to the Hara. The lower belly, another point of support to come home to take refuge in this seed of awareness. So as you keep a gentle squeeze on the block, inhale, reach your arms out and up. Now keep squeezing the block as you exhale, folding forward, and notice that the forward fold is a little easier when you squeeze the block. Inhale, hands to your shins, elongate the spine halfway up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees, keep squeezing the block. Knees come over your feet, or not further than over the toes. So heels pressing down, arms can come up or shoulder height. And as you exhale, straighten up, arms come down. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, squeeze your block, release the head. Hands to your shins, inhale, elongate the spine, looking forward. Exhale, fold forward, release the head. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose. So make sure that the knees don't go too much forward. So keep the weight in your heels, send your sits bones back. Exhale, straighten up, hands come down. We'll do this one more time. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, straight legs, straight spine, fold forward. Hands to your shins. Inhale, elongate your spine, looking up. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Arms come up as you inhale. And exhale, straighten the legs, hands come back to the Hara. Focusing on your center in the lower belly. Noticing your breath. And notice your feet on the ground. And then remove the block, placing both blocks at the front of your mat again. And see if you can keep that sense of the support of the block between your inner thighs. As we'll do this little sequence one more time. When you're ready, inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands to your shins. Inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. And this time stay here. Exhale, sweep your hands back. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward, hands to your blocks, straighten your legs. Step your left foot back into a lunge, and you'll have to bring the blocks back with you so they can be on either side of the front foot. Nice strong legs here. So there's hardly any weight in the hands. The support is in the legs. The blocks are just there to create more space. As you inhale, straighten the front leg any amount as the hips come up. And exhale, bend your front knee. Inhale, front leg straightens. Maybe all the way, maybe not. Exhale, bend your front knee. So a few more like this. The next time the front leg straightens, stay here. The left heel is off the floor probably, but let it release down. Ground the right big toe and draw the right hip back. There's a micro bend in the front knee. Slide your blocks back just a little bit so you can feel more of an elongation in the spine and the hands can be straight under your shoulders. Imagine you're hugging that block between your inner thighs. As you inhale, reach your right arm out and up, twisting to your right. Keep your hips square. Press down into your left hand, into the support of the block. As you reach up through the right fingertips, pull your belly button to your spine. Spine is long and straight. Nice deep breath. Exhale, reach the right arm back as you bend the front knee. The right arm is parallel to the floor as you're still twisted, but now in a lunge. So the front knee over the front ankle, hug the inner thighs. Nice deep breath. Exhale, release the right hand to your blocks. Keep your hands on your blocks and step back into a plank pose. And notice how much easier it is to step back in a plank pose when your hands are on the blocks. Much more room for that leg to go back. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, elongate the spine, reach the tailbone back, crown of the head forward. Nice strong legs. One more breath. Exhale, lower your knees. Now bring your hips over your knees, forearms on the blocks, and let your chest release towards the floor. It probably won't come down to the ground, but just let the arms rest on the blocks to get that nice opening in your chest. Release your hands. Relax your neck, even if your head is not on the floor. Nice deep breath. As you inhale, look up. Carefully bring your hands back on the blocks. And you can sit onto your heels for a moment or sit in any other way if this doesn't feel appropriate. And just closing your eyes for a moment, noticing how your body feels, noticing your breath. Where can the breath be of support right now? In what way? As you open your eyes, come up onto your hands and knees. And actually place your hands on the floor for a moment, so not on your blocks, so you can come up into a downward facing dog. Even though you could do that with hands on the blocks, it's always a little bit tricky, especially if your mat is slippery. And so safer to just have the hands on the ground. Just lifting your sits bones, so slight bend in the knees. Front ribs knitting together to broaden the upper back. And pressing the floor away with your hands. Nice deep breath. And on your next inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands into a lunge and take your blocks again. Placing them on either side of that front foot, straight under your shoulders, hands on the blocks. And then when you're ready, inhale. The front leg straightens any amount as the hips lift, and exhale, the front knee bends. And on your own pace, straightening and bending that front knee. Noticing your breath. And the next time your front leg straightens, pause there. Slide your blocks back a little bit so that you can really find length in the spine with the hands straight under your shoulders, squaring the hips. Ground the left big toe and let the right heel release towards the ground. As you inhale and you elongate your spine, engage the inner thighs. Exhale, twist to your left arm up to ceiling. Keep the hips square. Micro bend in the front knee. Belly button is pulling to your spine so you can stabilize your core, twisting with a nice long spine. Nice deep breaths. Pressing down into the support of that block under the right hand and reaching up through the left fingertips. And take a deep breath in. As you exhale, the right arm reaches back, comes parallel to the floor as the front knee bends. You may have to slide the right block a little bit forward. And so now you're back into a lunge, still twisted, looking past your left fingertips. Hugging the inner thighs, engage your quads. Take another breath. Exhale, sweep the left hand down on your block, bring it forward so it's next to the left foot. And then engage your core still, even though this is a little easier. And then step your left foot back into plank without lifting the hips. So press the blocks away, lifting up under your armpits. Make sure that the neck is loose, so maybe move your chin a few times from side to side here. Relax your jaw. Take another breath. Exhale, lower the knees. Bring your hips over your knees. Forearms on your blocks. Walk your hands away. Let the chest release towards the floor. Nice opening for the chest. Relax your hands. Nice deep breath in and exhaling out. Bring your hands on the blocks. And then again, carefully sit back onto your heels if you can sit on your heels or sit in any other way. Lowering your gaze to the ground or close your eyes for a moment. Allowing the breath to settle. And slowly open your eyes or lift your gaze. And then we'll come to stand. And so you probably have practiced the revolved half moon before, which can be a quite challenging pose, and it makes a huge difference if you use the wall for support. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have the leg that is back behind you is going to be against the wall. So you can really get into that pose without feeling the challenge of the balance. And you'll need a block as well. So the way you'll start, I'll show you actually from this wall. You bring your right foot against the wall at hip height, and then you'll have to bring your left foot a little forward perhaps so you have the ankle straight under your hip. And if you want, you can just look first and see what we're going to do and then do it. So it may be helpful to have a visual. So with your foot, toes pointing up, you're going to pivot, turning around. So you turn the standing foot away from the wall, and the foot that is on the wall, the toes are going to point down. And then your right hand is going to come on a block straight under your shoulder. And then from there, you press your right foot into the wall as you elongate the spine. And on your exhale, you twist to your left with the left arm up. So that's where you'll end up. So if you want to follow along again, so you place your right foot against the wall at hip height. The standing leg, the left ankle is straight under your right hip. Then carefully pivot. Your standing foot, the toes point away from the wall, and the foot that is against the wall, the toes point towards the floor. Leg is parallel. Then carefully bring your hands down, the right hand on a block straight under your shoulder. And then you press firmly into that foot that's in the wall. You elongate the spine, the crown of the head in the opposite direction. Standing leg super strong, and then on your exhale you twist to your left arm up. Belly button pulling to your spine. Use the support of the wall. See if you can find your breath to support you here as well. And taking 2 more breaths. And as you exhale, carefully untwist. Bring your left hand down to the floor, bend your standing leg a little bit, and then carefully step your right foot next to your left. So into a forward fold, release your head. Bend your knees a little bit and roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Head comes up last. You may notice a difference between your right and your left hip. And then we'll do the other side. So you may want to already place the block to the left. Now your left foot against the wall, parallel to the floor, so the foot is in line with the height of your hip. Standing foot straight under the right hip. The leg that's against the wall is straight as best as you can. Really important to get that standing leg close enough so the ankle is straight under the right hip. And then you pivot to your right, turning the standing foot, toes away from the wall, the foot against the wall, toes turn down. Left hand on the block straight under your left shoulder. Press the left foot into the wall, elongate the spine away from the wall. On your exhale, you twist to your right. Right arm up. Use the support of the wall, so really press that foot into the wall, belly button to your spine, crown of the head reaching in the opposite direction. And then you press down into the block and reach the right fingertips up. 2 more breaths and allow the breath to support you here. 1 more. And exhale, release the right hand, bend your standing leg, step the left foot down, forward fold. Deep breath in, sigh it out. And bend your knees slightly and roll up 1 vertebra at a time. The head is last to lift. And take a moment to place your hands on the hara and the lower belly, connecting with your center. Noticing your feet on the ground. Noticing your breath. And take 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, let it go, release your hands. If you're not on your mat, then come back to your mat. Although it doesn't really matter where you are. Deep breath in, reach your arms out and up. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands to your shins. Inhale, elongate your spine. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale, keep your knees bent. Sweep your hands back. Inhale, arms come forward. And exhale, fold forward. Straighten your legs. And then walk your hands forward or your feet back, depending on where you are. So you come into a downward facing dog. Stretching out. Knees slightly bent. And deep breath in. Exhale, knees down. Hips come over your knees. Walk your hands forward. Let the chest come down. This time probably your shin or forehead comes on the floor. Pull shoulders towards your hips. And then carefully lower your buttocks towards your heels into a child's pose. Maybe you want to bring your hands towards your feet. Nice deep breath in. And let it go with a sigh. Bring your hands in front of your knees and slowly roll up to sit. And then we're going to end again lying on your back with your legs up the wall in a slightly different way this time. So however you need to set yourself up so you can get close to the wall. So we'll start with the legs up the wall like we did at the beginning of the practice. So coming with your buttocks against the wall, lying on your side. And then you can carefully roll onto your back, extending the legs up towards the ceiling, legs against the wall. And then once you're there, and take your time to get settled. We're going to bring the legs wide apart in Dragonfly. Since we worked the inner thighs quite a bit, the adductor muscles have been really active in this practice. So now we'll release that with this nice wide open pose. So your feet are still against the wall, but your legs are wide. And as you rest here, you may notice that the feet will start to slide down the wall, that when the tissues begin to release, that the legs open more. But if at any point it feels like too much, you can use your blocks as support. So you can slide the blocks under your thighs on either side of the hip to prevent the legs from opening more. And so that's optional if you need that support. Arms can rest in whichever direction, whichever position is comfortable. And then allowing the spine to release, shoulders relaxed, pelvis heavy. And allow the breath to be of support by sending it down into the belly. So with this gentle pull on the connective tissue, you're inviting this phase change in the tissues. So muscles like movement, and they become more flexible when we move as they start to become more liquefied. But the connective tissues, the ligaments are different. They're more plastic in nature, so we can't stretch them with movement, but only by being still. And the change in texture of the tissues happens only after about 3 minutes or so, and then all of a sudden the plasticity becomes a little more pliable, and you may feel that as a literal release in the body. You may feel that all of a sudden your legs slide a little further down the wall. So just allow to unfold whatever is unraveling in your body right now. As you're being held by the ground, supported by the wall. And send your breath in any part of your body where you feel tension that could release. And taking 3 more deep breaths here. And bring your hands towards your upper legs, supporting the legs and carefully bending your knees, bringing your feet back together. And you could either bring the feet together and be here in a butterfly against the wall for a moment, or bring your knees together, helping with your hands, and extend the legs up towards the ceiling. And just the way we started, legs up the wall. Just taking a moment here to come back to neutral. And you're welcome to stay here with your legs up the wall for as long as you need, or even carefully roll to your side and rest in a traditional shavasana with the legs on the floor. And whenever you feel ready, slowly bend your knees. And roll to your side. And support yourself with an arm to come up to sit. And if you're still close to your wall, you could even sit against the wall, so continuing to feel that support. Resting your back against the wall or sitting in space. Lowering your gaze or close your eyes for a moment. Just to notice the effect of this practice. Noticing the physical effects of opening the body. But also noticing the mental and emotional effects of using support during your practice as a metaphor of learning to ask for support in your daily life when you need it. And place your hands on your heart center, reminding yourself that you can always ask your heart what it is that you need, or where support is most helpful. And now bring your palms together and bow your head as a gesture of gratitude. First of all, towards yourself for taking this time to practice and be supported. And as a gesture of offering the benefits of our practice to all beings. May all beings feel supported when they need it. Thank you so much for joining me today.